Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is so very special. Ensley range just revealed their shattered looking glass collection. It comes with a face palette, a eyeshadow palette, 4 single shadows, 3 eyeshadow sticks, 4 lip glosses. So if you guys want to see all of this in action, then please keep on watching. This whole collection launches on October 24th, and I would leave all the description of all these details in the description box below for you guys. Let's begin with the first look, and which is the lip products. We have 3 lip glosses, intense lip glosses I would say, and 1 lip velvet, which is that top shade. I feel like the colors that they chose were really good, especially for the Halloween season. They have a good mix of neutral shades, but also the black shade, and this black shade, the Underland gloss. And I'll pop swatches on the screen for you guys. This Underland gloss was like also from their previous Underland collection. They bought it back because this was a high seller product in their line, so they definitely wanted to bring this back. Let me tell you the prices. They're all $12. The Underland is definitely a black gloss. They have a muted red, which is the lip velvet, which we are going to apply right now. And then they have 2 lip glosses, which one is more of a peachier nude I would say, and the other one is like a neutral pink nude. They had come out with another lip velvet in the Underland collection, which was more mauve. So it's definitely not in the same line. So do keep that in mind. I love the lip velvets from them, and that's exactly what I'm going to wear today. So this is the shade Painting the Roses Red. I remember they had a single shadow in the shade Painting the Roses Red, which was a beautiful red multichrome shade. It's extremely comfortable, and I did pair it with Maybelline lifter liner in the shade Cross the Line, and you can see it's definitely more of a deeper red shade. Very comfortable. It's very moussey on the lips. Okay, so I'm going to keep this right now. Now let's move on to a new product in their line, which is their shadow sticks. I don't think they've ever done shadow sticks, and they're coming out with 3 shadow sticks, all beautiful shades. They have a peachy, again I'll pop the swatches on the screen. We have a peachy shadow stick, we have a neutral brown and black, and I feel like these, because they chose neutral tones, it'll come very handy, and you can draw it on your face, draw it on your eyes. It's super blendable. It was emollient, so you could easily blend it out. So very excited to try that too. And then they have 4 single shadows in the line. Okay, let's go in the order of the swatches. The first shade is called Mind Melt, which is a single holochrome shade. It's like purely holochrome silvery shade. I really love it. I already have this shade in the line, and this is a re-released shade. Next we have the shade called Shattered Dreams, which has like a green to a peach flip, which again has like pretty much holochromy particles running throughout it. Again, you can see it on the screen how beautiful and shifty it is. Very pretty. And then we have the shade called Go Tell Alice, which is a green to a purple shifting. Again, a beautiful holochrome. Really pretty. And this shift is amazing. Absolutely beautiful. And last, certainly not the least, we have the shade called Curated Chaos, which is a split pan of orange and a cool tone purpley pink shade, I would say. Very pretty shade. Okay, so once you've seen the swatches of all these products, now let's move on to the main star of the show, which are the face palette and the eyeshadow palette. So let's begin. I'm going to use as much things as I can in today's video, but let me start off with the face palette. Now it is a huge palette, same artwork. The palette cover also comes in the same artwork. So this is the cover of the palette. Mind it, it's not a blush palette, it is a face palette, so you can apply it anywhere as your heart desires. So let me go over. It's a huge palette with mirror, and these are the shades. Of course, I've swatched it already. So we have, let me go over it. We have 5 beautiful cream blushes, which is this, and this. And then we have 5 powder blushes, which is this. And again, I feel like when I swatch, I could wear this as like bronzer and contour. and obviously the rest of the shades as a blush. And then we have three beautiful highlighters. One is more of an iridescent bluey greeny highlighter. Then we have a yellow gold highlighter, both of them super smooth, but also has like a glowy shimmery quality to it, but it would not emphasize the texture, at least according to the swatch I could figure that out. And this is a beautiful champagne shimmer highlighter, again very smooth on the in the swatch. And then we have two powders. One is more of a white powder and the other one has a little bit of hint of like peach in it. So that is the face palette. So let's begin blending and applying it on the face. Again, let me use as much of the things that I can. I'm going to go over this contouring cream product. I'm going to take it on a bronzer, and you can see it's balmy, but it blends very beautifully. I have used cream products from Ensley before, and they work beautifully. Okay, so you can see that shadow forming, which I really like. And you can definitely apply this as like more of a brown blush too. I personally want to apply it as many shades. That's why I'm taking it as like a contouring shade. And I just have a little bit of skin tint and concealer on, and I don't have anything else on my face. Once we have the bronzer, not bronzer, like a contouring shade all across, now let's move on to the powder situation. And I am going to take that peach powder, this one, and I'm going to take it on a powder brush to just set the face. They're very smooth powders. Yeah, I can definitely see like blurringness happening. Oh, that's nice. I was not expecting that. That's nice. Okay, I'm gonna take a hint of that white powder and see. Yeah, it's definitely brightening, you can see, but it's not like as pigmented as an eyeshadow, so you can definitely wear it for brightening. Okay, that's nice. Okay, now let's move on to the bronzer situation. I'm going to take this powder bronzer, this one. It's an extremely pigmented product, but it is blendable, so that's good. That's why I went with like a less amount, but it did pick up really well on my brush. Okay, taking another bit, tapping off the excess and then blending it underneath the jawline. Okay, so now you can see I'm all bronzed up and I definitely can see some color on my face. Okay, now let's move on to the blush situation. Okay, let's take the lighter blush and see if that pops up on my skin or not. So I'm going to take this on the one side of the cheek. Yeah, it definitely is showing up on my skin tone, so that's beautiful. And on the other side, I am going to take this poppier orangey blush. Yep. Very pretty. So really pretty shades. Now time for highlighter. I am going to take the neutral one and let's see how that rolls. One thing that I am not liking is the products are beautiful on the skin, but because there are cream and powder products both in the same palette, I don't know how much we can avoid like dust particles from the powder product to enter into the cream. So that is the champagne one. Very beautiful, very pretty. Okay, I'm going to just clean the brush and I'm going to take that yellow one, the yellow highlighter, and see on the other side. Again, you can see how smooth it is. Really pretty. But they're definitely buildable too. Okay, really, really pretty. So you can see that is definitely a golden highlighter and this is definitely a champagne. At least I can see. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm going to take that champagne on my nose too. Okay, so that was the palette. So we did use 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 products out of 15. So I think great. I keep using this and I'll definitely let you know how I feel about it. Let me show you the palette on the screen with the swatches. It includes soft to bold blushes, sculpting bronzers and whimsical highlighters, blendable and buildable for all skin tones. This palette has 5 cream pans, velvety blushes and sculpting shades in terracotta, burnt sienna, dusty mauves, neutral brown and a deep plum-toned wine, blendable and balmy without feeling greasy. It has 5 powder blushes, which is dreamy midtones in spiced apricot, warm butterscotch tan in golden undertones, rosewood, neutral clay and a bold poppy red orange. It has 2 matte powders, subtle yet striking pale ivory and soft buttercream, perfect for brightening or inner corner highlights. And 3 shimmer highlighters, which is icy duochrome with soft green and purple shifts, translucent golden yellow shimmer and a pearlescent champagne shade. This Veil of Illusion 15 pan face palette would retail for $36. Okay. Now let's move on to the eyeshadow palette. Now when you receive the eyeshadow palette, it will come in this kind of a packaging, which Ensley Rain definitely does this kind of packaging, very similar packaging. And then it sits right in there, snug, really, really pretty. Same sleeve of the palette. And this is how the palette looks. It is a sister palette to Underland palette. It's an 18 pan eyeshadow and a pressed pigment palette. It will retail for $74. It's a mesmerizing mix of rich moody mattes and multidimensional sparkle shades. It has 7 multichromes, a holochrome, a marbled holochrome and a marbled multichrome, 1 diamond matte and 10 buttery mattes in dusty mauves, muddy roses, warm sepias and inky black. Perfect for building dark surreal looks. And this, again, I will show you along with the Underland palette just so that you can see how it matches side by side and it doesn't have any duplicate shades. So there you go. This is Shattered Looking Glass and this is Underland. Very, very comparable to each other, I would say. Like it would complement each other really, really beautifully. Okay. So those are the palettes. Now let's begin using this palette. We're definitely going to do 3 looks with this palette. So let's begin. Okay, I'm going to start off with this shade, which is Through the Cracks. And I'm going to place that in my outer corner. Right there, super pigmented. You can see that pigment right there. And I'm going to take that same shade, took like 5 seconds, on the lower lash line too. Let's move on to the shade Drink Me. And Drink Me is definitely a purple shade. A mid to deep purple shade, I would say. And I'm going to take that as a blending shade of the previous shade that we used into the crease. Okay. Now I'm going to take this shade Withered Roses, that yellow. It's like a greeny yellow, I would say. And I'm going to take that as the inner part of the crease shade. I'm going to take that same purple shade Drink Me on the lower lash line too. I'm taking this Chasing Rabbits shade, this peachy shade, and that would be our cleaning up shade underneath the brow bone. Just to blend everything out, just right there. I'm going to take this Mind Melt shade, that is the Marbled Multichrome. I'm going to just mix it all across and I'm going to place that all across the eyelid. You can see how stunning that shade is. No glitter glue, anything on the eye, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't need anything with Ensley Rain shimmers. Extremely, extremely pretty. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna go back into that brush that we use the shade through the cracks, the first shade. And I'm just gonna take that and pat it over the edge, just so that there is no harsh lines, okay? Just like that. Now I am gonna take this shade Fractured Reality, this shade. It's a beautiful peach gold green right there. Okay, that's a mix of warm tones and cool tones together. Okay, just right there. For the inner corner, I'm gonna go back into that yellow, the Withered Roses shade, and just pop it right there, just for the added pop, and then wrap it around in the lower lash line, just so that we don't lose that yellow that we had. And let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And there you go, that's my first eye look. I really love the tones that were chosen, and I'm not a big yellow person, but the purples in this is absolutely beautiful. You know how much I love purples, okay? So that's not a doubt to have. Now, for this eye, what are we doing? I feel like I should dip into the blues here. Why not? Let's definitely play with these tones for sure. So let's do that. I am going to start off with Rabbit Hole, this one. And I'm going to place that in the outer corner of the eye. Looks like a very deep shade. Very different tone of blue. Not like that bright blue, neither a navy. Very unique. I'm also going to take that same shade on the outer corner of the lower lash line. Just right there, okay? Now to blend the edges of that blue, I am going to dip back into that Chasing Rabbit shade, which is that skin tone shade. And then I'm going to just take it in circular motion, just right at the edge to get the blending going. Because I was just packing it in the outer corner, just right there, okay? Now, for the inner part of the crease, I am going to dip into, let's take this shade Muchness, this dirty, mustardy shade. And I'm going to take that in the rest of the crease and melt it with that blue. That pretty much has like some kind of an oliviness to it. Like a dirty, murky brown shade with an olive green undertone to it. Also taking that same shade on the lower lash line. Now for the extreme outer corner, I am going to take this shade Hatter Shadow, this one, the deep dark shade in the palette, and I'm just going to tap it right there in the outer corner for the added depth. It's pretty much like a black shadow. Now for the lid shade, I definitely want to dip into the other Alice shade, this one, this blue. And I'm going to take that in the inner part of the eyelid. Just right there. So pretty. For the center of the eyelid, I am going to take this shade, Distorted Dreams, this one. It is like a matte black, but with a lot of red blue sparkles running throughout it. Just want to see if there's anything. Yeah, not that you would see anything on the eyelid. So, change of plans. Let's take the shade Shattered Dreams, this one. And I'm going to apply that in the center of the eyelid, mixed with that blue. Now this shade has a lot of orangey, green, blue sparkles running throughout it. Hopefully you can see it. It's pretty much like a holochrome, I would say, but not exactly. But it has tons and tons of sparkle running through. Oof, that is so vibrant. I'm going to take that Rabbit Hole shade, the blue, and then just run it on the lower lash line. For the inner corner, I am going to take this shade Go Tell Alice, and I'm going to place that in my inner corner. Again, a beautiful shifty multichrome, really pretty. Look at that. Okay, so pretty. Okay, let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and I'll change into a different lip. And there you go. That's my second eye look. I really love the shimmers of this palette. They're so pretty. I really love the combination of these shades too. I also wanted to talk about the single shadows. The three new shades would retail for $16.95 and the Mind Melt shade, which is that holochrome, would retail for $18. Okay. Also wanted to quickly talk about my lip. I did change it to the Curiosor lip gloss and this is definitely my favorite out of the bunch that we have tried. I really love it. The only shade that I have not tried as yet, which I will try in the next look, would be this Delirious shade, which is that peachy shade, okay? But so far, this is definitely my favorite. Very comfortable, very glossy. I really love it. I really love the combination of the colors and I definitely created two extremely different looks. But now let's move on to the third eye look. Let's move on to the shade Delirious on the lips. And this is definitely a peachy nude. Very pretty, very everyday-ish, I would say. I did pair it up with the Char lip liner from Unearthly Cosmetics. I don't have anything else on the face, just cleaned up my foundation. So I am going to take some cream blush now. Let's take this beautiful, this shade, this mauve shade, and apply it. You know how much I love my mauves. So definitely wanted to give them a try. Yeah, really pretty. Definitely has that purpley base to it. I'm also going to take this shade, just to melt the other shade out, and I'm going to focus that in the inner part. Now this is definitely more of a neutral pink shade, but I can still see that on my face, so that's really good. Like a peachy pink. Okay, right there. Now I'm just going to take my powder brush again with that butterscotch shade and just set my concealer and go over the powder just to set everything out. I like that powder a lot. Just sets everything. That's really pretty and brightens the face too. Okay, now for the highlighter, I am gonna take this shade, this iridescent blue, green, whatever. You can clearly see that on my face. You can see that, right? It's very smooth on the skin, so that's good. Since I don't like a glittery highlighter, I feel like that works. If you are a person who loves a colored highlighter, you would like it. Like, I do have a lot of colored highlighters in my collection, but since this is not glittery, I would like that more for sure. Okay, yeah, I'll just keep it right there. Now let's move on to the eye look. Definitely want to use the eyeshadow stick. Should we start with that? I think we should. I'm going to start with that black shade, and I don't know, what is this shade called? I don't know what's called, but the black shade. I'm going to take that on the extreme end. Okay, just right there. It's very emollient. You can see it's definitely blendable. It's moving with the brush. I just don't want it to go all over the place, so that's why I'm taking more of a concise brush right there. See? That's pretty. So you'll get the depth. It's not like screaming black now once it's blended. I think it'll be really handy for like everyday looks if you're looking for like just a little bit more smokiness. Now let's take a little bit of brown. It's a very neutral brown shade, as you can see, and all these shadow sticks does come with like a brush on the other end. So I'm going to just take that brush and just melt both of these shades together. It definitely works. I'm not a person who uses these kind of brushes. I would rather use my brush. But definitely works. You can see it blended really, really well. Okay. Am I going gaga over it? No. But I like the neutral shades that they chose. Okay. We'll see how it works throughout the looks and stuff. Now let's move on to the eyeshadow. I've not used this shade, Echoes of Underland. I really want to use that today. Should we start off with that? Let's do that first. I'm gonna start off in the outer corner and then I'm gonna take that all across the crease. I'm also just seeing, does that alter how it appears on the eyes where I applied the base and where I did not. Okay, so obviously I applied the base here and not in the inner part of the crease, and I just gazed it all across the crease, and you can see the depth that is happening here. So it totally works, even though it doesn't like show up on the, I'm gonna do the same thing on the other eye too. I'm gonna just pack it right there. I'm gonna do the same thing on the crease. Hopefully you can see it. I totally 100% can see the difference on my eyes. Look at that. I like that shadow that it is giving with that shadow sticks. Okay, now I'm gonna take a smaller brush with the same shade, Echoes of Underland, and go on the lower lash line and just wrap it around the eye. This matte is gonna be the star of the show for today's look. I will deepen it out a tad bit, but this would be the star. I'm gonna take a little bit of this shade. I know that we did apply a little bit in the other eye. It's like a black with ton of red sparkle running throughout it. So I'm just gonna take that in the outer corner. You can see it totally deepened everything out. On the eye, until and unless you're packing the shade all across the eye, I don't think you can see the sparkle that much. Like right now, I don't see any sparkle that is there in that shade. I feel like you have to press it with your fingers to see that much of a sparkle effect. I'm gonna take that same shade on the outer corner of the lower lash line too, just to blend everything out. Going back in the same brush with that burgundy shade or the plummy shade and just blending the edges. Now for the shimmer, what are we doing? I'm going to start off with this shade, Mirrored Madness, this one, and then we'll take this shade, or the other way around. Let's see which one is more deeper. Okay, let's take Elixir of Madness, this holochrome, first in the center of the eyelid. Look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. So pretty. I can actually feel the tack from the shadow stick, and I'm gonna keep this eye look for the whole day and see if I can see creasing or anything because of the shadow stick. I'll definitely report it down in the description box or on the screen. So pretty, you guys. This is beautiful. Now I'm going to take that Mirrored Madness and I'm going to take that in the inner portion of the eyelid and I'm going to melt it down with the other shade. And this definitely has that green pink flecks running throughout it. Okay, a hint of purple too. So pretty. Okay, I'm gonna go back into the brush with the same shade, Echoes of Underland, and just blend the edges just right there. For the inner corner, I am going to take this Curated Chaos shade. This is the single multichrome, and I am going to actually take both of these shades at the center and I'm gonna take that in the inner corner. That's such a fiery orangey pink shade. Very pretty. Oof, look at that. So pretty. Also just taking a little bit on the swoop of the eye. Okay, just let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And there you go. That's my final look. I really love the way how this look turned out. There are only 3 shades that I've not used from this palette, and that are those mustardy greeny tones right on the top right corner. And I am absolutely in love with the sparkle and the shine, and the quality is absolutely there. So I would say if you love the color story, you're not going to be disappointed with this palette one bit. I really love, and I cannot wait to combine it with that Underland palette. I feel like that's amazing. The single shadows were absolutely beautiful. Out of the lip products, definitely I would suggest these 2 lip glosses, the shade Curiouser and Delirious. Black I don't wear that much, and but the lip velvet in the shade Painting the Roses Red, I am not a big red person, so I would not recommend that. More the wearable shades, more usable for me. The face palette, I would highly recommend. I feel like all the shades are very wearable and so useful to the face. So 100% would recommend this for $36. It's an absolute steal. Shadow sticks, I'm not that impressed. I have to use it even more to tell you my recommendation, but that's all for today. You guys have to let me know, are you going to pick up this collection or not? I do have a code with Ensley Rain. My code is Smithy Sony to save you 10% off. This whole collection launches on October 24th. But that's all for today. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.